Patience will pay off, at least that's what the people say. I waited a long time to get a Xiaomi Mi Pad 2. Originally I ordered a 64GB version, but it was out of stock too long for me to wait more. So I decided to order a 16GB version, get her up, and let's see how good is Mi Pad 2. And is it 16GB enough or just too low to even consider? Packaging content is standard for Xiaomi. White box with minimalistic design. Inside you get a wall charger with 5V 2A output and USB Type-C cable for charging and data transferring. Xiaomi Mi Pad 2 highlights are Intel Atom X5 Z8500 64-bit. It is a quad-core processor with each core working on 2.2 GHz. Graphics are Intel HD graphics, which will ensure a smooth gaming experience. Looking further, there is a 2GB of DDR3 memory and 16GB of eMMC flash storage. We will see is this enough for in general no hassle usage. Design is something that is unique for Xiaomi, borrowed from the best and with some personal touch. Final result is this. Beautiful in many segments, it is hard to transfer how it feels in the hands. On the front top side we see a Mi logo, and on the middle we see a front-facing camera. And I really want to speak about it. I think that important aspect of every tablet is a front-facing camera, which in this case is pretty decent for a tablet. It's not anything revolutionary, but sensor is producing reasonably good quality pictures. On the bottom there are 3 capacitive touch buttons. They have excellent feedback and they got a backlight. Main star of Mi Pad 2 is screen. It is a 7.9 inch with 4:3 aspect ratio with resolution of 2048 by 1536 at 326 ppi pixel density. Just wow, so sharp and pleasant to watch. Pictures, movies or reading text, everything is joy to consume. I was always ready to stay on side of 1080p screens because they use less energy, but when you see something like this in live, there is no coming back. Mi Pad 2 screen is definitely one of his best sides. For screen this good you will need to pay a lot more money to some other more known brands. Other aspects of the screen like color representation, brightness and viewing angles are excellent. So when we sum it up, this is an example how needs to be done if you want to have a competitive product. Moving on right hand side we see a sleep-wake button with volume controls. Buttons are made of metal and they feel excellent. Feedback from them is just how it needs to be. Looking at the left hand side we see a part of metal frame which is excellent on touch and it gives to the device that premium feel and look. On the bottom there is a USB Type-C port for charging and synchronization. Top side continues to show metal frame which is interrupted with 3.5mm audio output. Finally, a back side. Joy for eyes. Full metal unibody design is always a pleasure to see and touch. This is no exception here. Device feels excellent in hand, maybe a bit slippery, but after some time of use I get used to it. In the top part we see 2 holes which are microphones. 8-megapixel f2 back camera is really nice. Considering that this is a tablet, pictures are really sharp with really good color representation. Overall, I like camera on Mi Pad 2, it gives a lot of more than I expect at first place from a tablet. From samples provided, it is easy to see how good pictures actually are. Moving on the bottom of the back, there are 2 grills, and guess what? They are used for 2 speakers which provide a stereo sound. Yes, you hear me well, sound is stereo, which is a nice touch. Considering that this is a primarily multimedia device, Sound quality is really good when you compare it to the usual mono sound which you can find on tablets and phones. It is loud, clear, also there is a little bit of bass. Real joy to listen them. Moving from excellent hardware now and focusing about user experience. What you get is Android 5.1 with MIUI 7. And before going in depth, I want to clarify one thing. As Mi Pad 2 isn't available worldwide, China ROM is only option. Or is it? Well, shops and sellers usually ship it with China ROM, which is customized to be as international. So you get all languages and no trace of anything China related. But there is a downside. You won't be able to do on-air updates. Also, provided ROM is a bit older than the latest China ROM. So what I did, I flashed a latest China ROM because I wanted to test the device in its best possible condition. Holding Mi Pad 2 in hands and using it is a story for itself. Everything is smooth and practical. If you're familiar with MIUI 7, then you know how good it is. But if you are not, I will just tell you that from my view it is one of the best Android customizations available on the market. But there is something worth noting. ROM which I used here is latest available at this time, and I noticed a lag here and there, so it's not the best MIUI 7 reincarnation available. But keep in mind that this will not ruin user experience in any way. Updates are frequent and in time everything will be polished. I don't see a reason to be any different than that. Benchmark results are good, but definitely you can see that huge screen resolution is taking its part on final score, both Antutu and Geekbench. Gaming experience is okay in general, but again we see that resolution is taking its part here also. Asphalt game is a bit laggy, but reducing graphics by one step it gets a lot better. In general, gaming is pleasant. It is not the best available, but it is more than good. I really enjoyed playing games on high resolution screen. It is not important how close you look, everything you see is laser sharp. Not any less important aspect is a battery life, which was satisfying. Again, not the best but far away from average. Geekbench result can support this statement. If screen resolution was lower, battery life will be blow-minding. But in this way it is just excellent. Quick charging isn't supported, but 5V 2A input is supported, which is enough to get battery charged in reasonable time. In the end, I can conclude that Xiaomi Mi Pad 2 is an excellent device, but I want to get in details about few things. First one is a 16GB version. In my case, it proved to be enough. I watch TV shows a lot and I tend to place one season on Mi Pad, watch it and then delete it. In that way, memory is not a problem. Bad thing is that for some reasons Xiaomi didn't enable OTG external storage. If you are familiar with routing, it is easy to enable it, but I think that this feature should be available out of the box. In that way, low storage will be virtually non-existent. But all this is avoidable by buying higher capacity model. 64GB is ideal, and combining that with all other segments in which Mi Pad 2 shines, it is a no-brainer choice. Mi Pad 2 is iPad from China. It is one of the kind device. Design and build quality are excellent. Screen will take your breath, and all that for a fragmental price. If performance is not enough to satisfy your needs, if your desire is oriented in beautiful design and excellent build, it is no-brainer option what to buy for a part of the price. I hope you enjoyed watching this review. I got the device from GearBest, links are in description so you can check them out. Your support is big deal for me, so if you like this video, thumbs up and subscribe, and until next time, see ya!